Hi everyone, I'm Phil from Driftworks. This is Jay and this is my V10 M3 restoration project. And yeah, the inevitable happened.
Would you just look at that?
So yeah, as I say, the inevitable happened. I bought VAC Motorsports S85 6-stage dry sump kit. Here's some nice iPhone footage of it. So yeah, a couple of episodes ago we tried the engine in the car with a standard oil pan. It wasn't going to work. We had loads of helpful suggestions, but I think a lot of the people that were making suggestions weren't aware of how we originally had this V10 fitted in the E46 M3 before. It was quite a complicated build. There's a whole rake of information in the build thread on the Driftworks forum, which I'll link to in the description. But yeah, so the original way that this was done was there was a modified cross member and that had a Mazda FD RX-7 rack on it, which happened to be CSL ratio. It had a very complicated
something like that, yeah, down to it.
It had a third universal joint that went through the chassis rail here, which
was probably down there, wasn't it? Like that, yeah.
So the chassis rail was scalloped and reinforced from the inside heavily, but yeah, it passed through there, went down to the Mazda FD rack. The rack was dropped, I don't know, 30 mil, something like that, and as a result of doing that, I had to create these drops here, which basically I measured the bump steer with our bump steer gauge, made adjustable sections here, and then once I'd worked out all the bump steer, this was all welded together and reinforced. It drove pretty well. I was never that keen on this. It was always a little bit felt like a little bit sketchy because I don't like modified chop knuckles.
Well, I guess you had the joy of using the car before and knowing exactly what it was like when it had the.
Yeah, and there was always the thing about, I knew that the S85 engine's like heavier. I think on list it's only 27 kilos heavier, but I think it's heavier than that. The engine position, we had the absolute best engine position as you can possibly have. The engine was as far back as possible, hence why we had to do it this way with the funny rack, funny steering column, funny drop knuckles, and little things that annoyed me. So we've got a standard column back in this now, but I lost adjustability in the column. We had to basically set it in a position where if I moved it even a tiny bit up and down, it would start scraping and stuff on the universal joints in there. It just always felt a bit too homemade, which is why I'm so keen that there is going to be zero compromise on the steering and suspension this time. So yeah, hence why I decided to spend many thousands of pounds on a very shiny, very posh thing. So yeah, this is made by Daily Engineering for VAC Motorsports. Daily Engineering also made the dry sump oil pan, the complete system, on my LSX powered A86, and it is just an awesome bit of kit. If you look at the details here, so you've got multiple separated scavenge areas. We've got in here, let's have a look at that, hold on for a second. Yeah, this is one of the big things that you are paying for with something like this.
Is Daily the only ones that do internal scavenge?
It's the way that external lines? So the way that this is done is basically that mounts on there. There's no lines needed to the pan at all. It's got an anti-aeration oil-air separator built into it, which is just an incredible bit of kit. And yeah, just the way that it all bolts together, the way that it has all of these internal lines which are basically hidden underneath here, all of these valleys and everything. This is sealed on with a tiny little O-ring in the same way that this is. It's just an absolute masterpiece. So again, we had lots of helpful people sort of saying, why don't you just make a steel oil pan or make your own something or other. The problem is I'd seen this. I'd seen this, and it's such a beautiful piece of engineering. I couldn't bring myself to do anything that wasn't this, basically. So yeah, that's how I man-logicked my way through it, and how, well, let's call it Phil logic, because I always seem to find a way to spend lots of money.
Well, I mean, it is fantastic. You know,
it's lovely, and this is the way to do it right. Another way that I managed to persuade myself that this was a really good idea is that long term I'd like a high revving S85 build. So
I keep telling you, it's a waste of effort.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, you know, minimum sort of long term 9,500 RPM.
Yeah, how many power?
Less than you.
less than 1,000. Pathetic.
Less than 1,000.
Pathetic. Just for shopping car.
Yeah.
Shopping car then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Shopping car.
Yeah.
Well, it was already a wheel spin mobile before,
yeah,
anyway.
I guess.
And yeah, it'll make a good noise, and yeah. So this is future proofing. That's how I justify it to myself.
Perfect.
So, bye-bye massive oil pan, hopefully.
I'm glad we didn't cut it now.
Yeah, you came up with the goods there, mate. Because I was pretty adamant we were going to cut it.
You were fully convinced you were just going to chop it.
Yeah, nah. Good call. Hello again.
In the bin.
Yeah, bye-bye pipes.
Yeah.
Bye-bye pump. Seems like it's not been a particularly productive day so far. I've just had to go, we had the ramp break, that was 3.5 hours. I've gone and sorted the dog out, and Jay just drew the short straw. Jay just had to go and take my 3500 HD, slammed 3500 HD to MOT. Was that a lot of fun?
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah? Yeah, so anyway, that's done, that's sorted.
You can get something done before it gets dark.
Yeah, so yeah, what we've got to do is block this off.
Was it a feed to the old oil pump?
I think it's
or a outlet to the old oil pump?
Outlet. You can't see, but it's just a hole currently, but it's a really weird angle. It's not dead on 90 degrees to the pan, so it's a really weird angle. I think we're just going to drill and tap it for a bolt and thread lock that bolt in, basically, because it's a return. We'll just stick a bit of grease on the drill bit, make sure we don't leave too much swarf in there, but it'll be absolutely fine.
And then
make
a blank for this.
Yeah. So this one
was it an old oil cooler line? Was it? Or
no, it's the main oil line. So yeah, that went there.
And that goes away.
But yeah, we've
already got this nice fitting.
Yeah. So this
years gone by.
Because I had a load of stuff from KMS Racing before, KMS Racing engines. And I had it was an external oil filter housing from them, and this. So actually this is part of what you need anyway, so that's superb. But the VAC kit didn't come with the blank that you need there, so we're just going to have to make something, which isn't going to be particularly difficult and complicated, just a bit time consuming.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, we've got to take, so that was the tensioner, wasn't it, in there?
Yeah, we need to take the little plunger out of the tensioner hole.
Yeah, so we've got the piston and the spring, but we just need to take the little end piece out, make sure we do that.
You can sort of going through that hole if you can get around to poke it down. We just don't want it to be rattling around in the engine, do we, afterwards? So.
We'll get that. And then the theory is that, yeah, we need to check some clearance on that one. Yeah, make sure that the pan sits properly. And then hopefully it can just go together for the last time.
We walk into the scraps of metal store, and what do we find? Rotary housings in their natural habitat. Right, let's find a piece for this. Here he comes. This is Craig's actual spawn. Is that rude? It's not rude.
Maybe not. That's the thing.
There it is, draw around that. Right, now Dad's told you not to waste all his metal.
Yeah.
Let's do it right at the bottom here. Hello! Right. Let's make that pretty then. Well, I maxed out my engineering skills there, so now it's Craig's turn to make it into something pretty.
Neaten it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's the one. Tickle the edges off.
We'll make it a little better. Oh yeah. Well, that looks blocked and that looks blocked, so happy days.
Yeah.
Time for one of these.
I'm just going to take a minute with this first. I'm
Yeah,
going to take it out the back, yeah?
Can we just hug it for a minute? It's a shame to say goodbye to the inside.
I was just saying, you know, in no gasket needed, internal O-ring all the way around there.
It's mad, isn't it? And it's tiny as well, it's so delicate, but yeah, no gasket required at all. Plonk it on, do it up.
I think I love it. What a thing.
Bye bye.
Hopefully. Bye bye, hopefully.
Yeah.
I forgot the washers.
Do you need me to hold it?
Yeah, go on, do me a favour, get me a washer out.
Out of this bag here.
Yeah.
Uno washer.
Thanks.
Is it normal to be able to see someone's reflection in your sump? So, great success.
Great success.
I'll probably call that another happy day. This was the easy bit, getting the oil pan bolted to the engine.
I don't know what you mean, I think you've made the rest of it easy by buying that.
I don't know, we've got to run all the lines and everything, haven't we? So, yeah. But it looks real nice, so that's all that matters.
Best thing.
It is pretty sweet, pretty sweet. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Give us a like if you like the video. It's very much appreciated when you do that. Make sure you're subscribed as well. And yeah, my personal Instagram is Phil Morrison DW, where I've snuck a pre-release of this out. So yeah, make sure you check that out. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Thanks.
At Driftworks, we've helped over 50,000 happy customers since 2004. Our huge online parts store is simple to use, with superb shipping rates to anywhere in the world, and finance options available for UK customers. We live and breathe wheel fitment, so if you have any questions about your own car or any of our products before placing an order, please drop us an email at shop@driftworks.com or give us a call. Thanks for watching.